So it's been a little bit of time. We've known that Venom is PG-13. And you would think at one point it was probably rated R, because we were led to believe it was. Except, as it turns out, my mortal enemy Avi Arad has now confirmed that was never the case. So, Avi Arad, you know, him and Spider-Man, it's a bad history there of what he's done with the franchise. You know, forcing things in when the directors didn't want them, cutting deals that really weren't smart or anything like that. So, when it came to Venom, we knew he really loves Venom. He wanted to move forward with it. And he's talked about how much kids love Venom, which is true. You know, when you're younger, you see Spider-Man, then you see him fighting a darker version of Spider-Man, who's more menacing and evil. Then you see a red version of him, who's all about blood. So naturally, as a kid, you'd think it's the coolest thing ever, right? And granted, their appeal is high. So when it came to Venom, you know, from the early days, there was a lot of speculation due to the success mainly of Deadpool that it would be rated R, because it's a character that kind of deserves that higher rating, right? Just from the nature of where he comes from. It was last December, I believe, that Tom Hardy, who of course got signed on to play Eddie Brock, said that they're shooting for an R rating. The director then reaffirmed this a couple times, saying, look, that's where we're looking at, but we don't know how it's going to end up. And just now in an interview, you know, Avi Arad comes out and says, yeah, that was never really the case. We always wanted PG-13 for a wider audience because it's such a kid-like character. So wait. And I talked about this in other videos. So we're building up Venom, who's a dark version of Spider-Man that's all about evil and eating people. And his mortal enemy, who's in the next movie, is Carnage, who's a psychopathic bloodbath killer who will literally decapitate people and torture them, who's red because of, like, blood and stuff, and he's, like, drooling blood everywhere. You know, PG-13, sure. So, this kind of tells me that, once again, Avi Arad is back to his old ways where he's lying again. Because we know he's done it plenty of times before, and he's the reason many things got moved, like, you know, sideways and stuff. And it's interesting because it's like, you don't need to lie to the audience, because the audience is smarter than they were 15 years ago when the internet wasn't so big and there wasn't an a-hole like me telling you right now what the facts were, right? So the audience is clearly more aware of what's happening. And it's one of these things where they led us to believe it was going to be rated R, and even during recent interviews with the director, as far back as a week ago, he says, well, there's probably going to be an unrated cut because we couldn't put all the violence in there. So is everybody lying now? Is that the case? So we're going into a movie where you're lying to us, and you want us to trust you. That doesn't spell confidence on any fan's part. But I'll let you guys decide how you feel about that.